Hello anybody and welcome to the finale of Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest. I am Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, and in the last episode we did the first 3 levels of the Lost World. And in today's episode we are actually going to be moving on to the remaining 2 levels and the boss. So yeah, as I said, today is going to be our finale. Of course, first things first, we are going to take our 2 coins, and we're going to fly out of Crazy Kremland, because that's where we just finished up, and we'll be moving up to Gloomy Gulch, because from here, we will be making our entrance into the next world. We're going to find Clubus Kiosk out here in the middle of the creepy woods.
Aha! 'Tis the flea-ridden gorillas again. Pay the toll or ye'll suffer a plenty, I promise ye.
And we pay him because we don't want to suffer.
'Tis me ape mates, the barrel is all yours.
Shiny golden barrel takes us to the next level in the bunch, and as you can see, that is going to be our level right up there. Fiery Furnace. It's a volcano level. And you know what? If I were to rank the Lost World levels in terms of difficulty, I think this one might actually be the easiest. Maybe I'm remembering this wrong. But for some reason, I just remember this level as the easiest of the bunch. Of course, as I say that, I'm being harassed by enemies. This level has a unique mechanic. It has these barrels, which you can move around before they fire. They're exclusive to this level. Rare likes to do this with the Donkey Kong Country series, is in their bonus worlds, they like to use the level gimmicks that aren't really present anywhere else. Of course, I am getting myself killed after saying this level is the easiest of the bunch. You might have noticed this with the clampons, and, well, even these guys. I forget what they're called again. They're just called Spinies, which of course is the name of a Mario enemy instead, so that's kind of whatever. But, yeah, you might notice that the Spinies and the clampons have the unique ability, well, not the unique ability to walk. No, what I mean to say is the further you get in the game, the faster they move. Rare likes to do this in all of the Donkey Kong countries, where they have these enemies, specifically the claptrap type enemies with the chomping mouths. They like to do that with them. So, yeah. But I still don't particularly remember this level as being particularly tough. I mean, it's not. As long as you keep yourself on the banana trails, you shouldn't have too much of a hard time. As you can see there, we've already made it up to the checkpoint. And so this level probably won't go on too much longer, and that crook is dead. Good. It is good to remember though that if you jump on the crook, I don't think you need to worry about the hook coming back to hit you if you kill it, because it'll just keep on going even if it looks like it's going to come back. But maybe if it's already in the process of actually coming back, that might not be accurate. I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, we're going to keep going through here, and now they start mixing it up with a new kind of, well, not a new kind of barrel, but they start aiming the barrels a little more differently. Of course, the green cutlasses barely keep their swords in the ground for very long, so if you want to kill them, it is a little bit more effort. Now, Cat o' Nine Tails, you need to make a little more effort to get out of the way of. You just want to just kind of keep going along. That Cat o' Nine Tails is kind of in a weird place. If I remember correctly, the bonus barrel here is just, that bee is just sitting in the lava. He's just, oh my god, I should be dead, but I got lucky. And now I died for real. Okay, that was, cut! And that is how you do that, if you want. I mean, you don't have to do it that way, and I died again! I'm just the worst. What you want to do there is actually let the timer on that barrel run out, so that when you do this part with these bees, you're a little more like in sync with the bees, so you can get past them a little easier, so you can just follow the bananas and use them as your path. I hate this part. Whoa! And there's a G up there, but we're not going to go for it because there's nothing we can really do about that, and we're back to where we left off. Now again, bananas as your trail make this level fairly, it's not too bad, and here we actually want to, all of my hate. Okay, credit where it's due. This level is harder than the first 2 levels of the Lost World. It's not as hard as Clobber Carnage was, in my opinion, which is the 3rd level, but it is a lot harder than I remember, so I guess I owe that. Anyway, that's how you get your bonus coin. It's safer to just survive with your 2 Kongs than it is to trust the cat of 9 tails to get you up there. And of course, this level uses the gimmick that has been in the level, except this time you have an infinite timer on the actual barrel, but you have your clock up above, and that's your general idea of how long this level is going to be. Generally speaking, you do have, I think, some buffer. Oh, no, man. No! It forces you to finish the level. That's terrible. Well, guess I'm going back to get that. Damn it. If you do go for this DK barrel, just remember not to fire into it. Just go up and get it normally, because, well, then you'll fall into lava, and that's dumb. It was more a bad habit of Donkey Kong Country 3 to actually do things like where if you fail, you get like 1 shot at something, and if you failed, that's it, you didn't get another try. But as you can see, this game does it a few times too, like with the DK coin at the end of Web Woods, and now this, where if you fail, you have to do the whole level again for another shot. However, I did do it this time, so thank God for that, and I don't even need to quit out of the level because it puts us right at the end, where we can try and aim for a life, which is after a coin. Right! Yay! We got it. All of my happiness. That is a tall flagpole, actually. Well, it's not a flagpole. It's like it's a carnival strongman thing. Oh, we're going back to Gloomy Gulch now. And with that, we are going to actually go up to Flunky's flights. Funky's failed cousin, Flunky. That was bad. Anyway, now that we've taken care of those first portions of the island, we are all the way back in K. Rool's Keep, only for us to descend the island and make our way over to Clubba's Kiosk on Donkey Kong Island.
Avast there! Touch me all the gold here and I'll slice you in two.
And of course, we're gonna pay him off our last bout of 15 creme coins. It always makes me a little sad.
If you're into getting any trouble, Clubber here will help you out.
It always makes me sad to spend that last little bit of creme coins, but anyway, it's just something you have to do to get 100% in this game, and it does make me kind of sad. But I digress. We've unlocked the final level of the Lost World, Animal Antics. Before I go in, you might notice at the front of the pathway near the Crocodile Head volcano that some blocks have been appearing as we've been beating the levels, so you might be able to guess what's going to happen after we beat this level. But anyway, without further ado, let us go in to Animal Antics, which immediately starts us off as Rambi and hides the DK barrel off to the left there. Now, I'm going to try this level this way, normally first, and see if I can't get through the normal way. If I do have to do this level again, I'll show you the really easy way of doing this part of the level. And yes, I do say part, because this is called Animal Antics. It's not just going to be Rambi. So that section of the level is actually really short. I say that I might have to do it again because I might have to redo this entire level. And I got hit, so that's embarrassing. I might have to do this entire level again because this level is hard. Make no doubt about it. Some people think that Animal Antics is the hardest level in the game, and it certainly is challenging. I think the hardest level in the game, at least on an emulator, is probably Clobber Carnage because it doesn't play right. And my personal most difficult level would probably be Windy Well. This level is tough, but we're not even at the hard part yet. Of course, we're still like as squawks, and everything's nice and fun, and just you explode and you're dead. Back into Animal Antics from the beginning of the level, though, I will show you something else you can do if you want to get past this opening section really quickly. Now, in dangerous levels, you normally wouldn't think you might try to do this your first time, and you might be pleasantly surprised because this is all you need to do to beat this first section of the level, and that is awesome, and I love it that you can just do that. So that's pretty great. So yeah, in case, you already know what the gimmick of this level is. One thing you can do at this section, actually, is when the cannonballs are coming, you can, if you get hit and you have the extra hit, you can run ahead with your invincibility period and go and kill the cannon, and then go back and get the DK barrel. But at least, you gotta get that DK barrel before you become On Guard, because On Guard can't go out of water, because he's a fish. I mean, sometimes he does appear out of water. Let's just, you know, try and dodge all of this. Okay, for this section of the level, you might want to slow down and take your time. But as you can see, they basically hoard all of the aquatic enemies together in various patches and, like, see how you deal with them in bunches. And here, now we are a fish out of water. And as we go into this little door, we will be put on a squitter pad. So that puts us in this part of the level. And now we have our shooter section and our checkpoint. So we are about halfway through the level. Actually, I wouldn't say we're even halfway through the level. We still have a fair chunk of level to go. We aren't even at the hard part yet. This part is actually fairly challenging, though. I'm not gonna, like, undercut that part, but, you know. As far as Animal Antics goes, this is not the hardest part of the level. Worse yet, this is sort of like Web Woods, in that most of this section of the level anyway, is going to be web platforming. But at least there are kaboings, I guess. You know, the legion of kaboings kaboinging at you, and that's the final defense in this final level for us to uncover the secrets of Crocodile Isle. And now we have the waves of bees coming at us. No longer will they just stay in position as a guard that you have to get past. They are just outright flying at you and trying to kill you until you're dead. And they are not your friends. They are pretty mean. And that actually brings us to the end of this section of the level. If you jump in that barrel, you don't want to jump in that barrel because you want to jump over here and get to our bonus barrel, which was the last bonus level in the game. So we're going to try and do that because I don't want to do it again. And I hope that if you do this one, if you fail at this one, you get to do it again without, like, having to do the whole level again. As we saw in Fiery Furnace, all of my anger. And because this is a Destroy Them All section, we actually switch over to Squawks. Not because it's a Destroy Them All section, but because it's something they decided to go with. However, it is a very easy section, and then they change you back into Squitter, and it gives you your DK coin. As far as final bonus section goes, fairly easy, but I'm okay with that. Like I said, the difficulty of the bonus sections doesn't really scale up with the rest of the levels as you play throughout the game, but I am okay with this. And now that we have finished with this, we are going to come to the hard part of Animal Antics. The Bramble section. Of course, we couldn't have gotten to the end of the game without a Bramble section. The important thing to remember here as you're playing as Squitter is that, of course, you can shoot your webs up and aim them. You can do the same things with your web platforms, but, you know, that's just fine. If you press L and R, actually, you'll place a web right under you. But that's enough Squitter now. We are done with Squitter forever, and now we are playing as Squawks in what is the most infamous part of this level. It's brambles, but with wind. Intermittently changing wind, no less. This is a hard level. I am not going to really undercut that at all. What I can say is it does control kind of weird. When you're flying against the wind, there's not much you can do, but when you fly with the wind, you go fast as hell. And when you just kind of sit in place, the wind doesn't actually really affect you that much. So that's kind of strange. But yeah, you have to be patient with this section of the level. You shouldn't go over and get that end, though. That's kind of a waste of time, and I shouldn't have done that. I think that's just bananas. Yeah, well, bananas to you. And here we have some actually very dangerous, surprisingly dangerous splitters. My advice here is to just let the wind carry you for the most part. Don't hold down the speed button too much, like the run button, to alter your movements too much. Of course, because the wind isn't moving up or down, you still have most of your control on the vertical axis, and it's mostly the horizontal axis you have to work with. But again, let the wind carry you for the most part, and if you just press nothing, as you can see, the wind effects are pretty minimal. Your best chance for this is actually to mildly thumb the arrow button, the directional pad, to, you know, move gently and not too difficultly. And with that, we're at the end of the hard part of Animal Antics. And here we come to the final section, the last stretch of the last level of the game, where we get to play as Radley, my favorite personal animal buddy, and they immediately drop us into a spike pit. This is not a hard part of the level. It's mostly just some platforming, because that's the kind of animal buddy that Radley is. He is a platforming buddy, and you might be able to see what we got to do here. We got to use the bee, the zinger, the red zinger, to platform across that section, and whoa, I'm having kind of frame rate hiccups a little bit, so And with that, we made it to the end of that. We are in our... No! I forgot that those barrels with the arrows automatically fire, so... Phooey on me. No secrets over here. I'm not going to end this level with a weak-ass hit, and I'm going to aim for that life. Come on. Got it! And with that, we're up to 10 lives, and that is the end of the Lost World levels. We have beaten all 5, gotten all of the decoy coins we can get. Now what do we uncover? That was some nice animation. So, as you can see, we have unlocked the final level of the game. The final boss, the true final boss, Crocodile Core. You can access this level from any level in the Lost World so long as you've beaten all 5. But our bridge is complete, so we are going to get to go in. But before we go in, we're going to go visit Cranky one last time. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to delay this any longer. Sorry, Cranky. I love you. But we are going into the final battle. The final battle of the final world. It's King K. Rool, and he is back out of Kremquay's swamp, and he is mad. And his gun appears to be jammed. So we come back to a rematch with Captain K. Rool, and, well, we're in this awesome treasure room with all this treasure and this core. Well, it's Crocodile Core. This is the core of Crocodile Island. This is where they get all of their energy and all of their power. This is the source of Crocodile Isle's, well, energy. I just said that. So we should not be here. This is basically the main engine of Crocodile Isle. This is the most dangerous point on the island. And of course, as K. Rool made his way back here, he does not want us in here. He is going to try and kill us. But this is the main mechanic of the fight, which I'm neglecting talking about, where he will shoot tons of spike balls at us. This is pretty much going to be the battle. It's an endurance round. He'll give you a preview of what he's going to do with his gas clouds, and then he's going to do that sequence of things over and over again with his cannonballs in various orders. This battle actually is considerably easier than the true final boss. I mean, the real final boss of the Flying Croc, because now we're done. That's it. We have beaten Donkey Kong Country 2, we have gotten the final DK coin, and we have knocked Captain K. Rool into Crocodile Core, and Diddy Kong is juggling! And it kind of seems like we shouldn't have done that.
Nice going, kid. I reckon only a true video game hero would have finished it all. Let's get out of this miserable dump and get back to the Donkey Kong Island.
So yeah, we shouldn't have done that, I think. But before we go,
back to see me again, eh, Sonny? Let's see if you've improved your hero status, shall we?
And we got all the DK coins. So,
I'm not afraid to admit it, Diddy, my boy. Even I'm wrong occasionally. You're as big a hero as they come. You must take after me and Donkey. Well done.
And that is the nicest thing Cranky has ever said about Donkey. But shh. And that, my friends, is the true ending of Donkey Kong Country 2. By throwing Captain K. Rool into the core of his own island, the pressure buildup was so much that Crocodile Island exploded and sunk into the ocean. Captain K. Rool, of course, escaped, or King K. Rool, of course, as he truly is. He escaped, as we saw, into the sunset, in time for Donkey Kong Country 3 to roll around, but that's it. Crocodile Island was destroyed. It wasn't enough to just save Donkey Kong. We just kind of made the entire Kremling population homeless. They're dead. They're all dead. Kind of an intense ending, actually. You don't really expect to go above and beyond, like, the main plot of the game, and that's pretty intense, and it's probably the best ending you get out of all of the Donkey Kong Country games. Donkey Kong Country 1 doesn't really have a secret ending at all, and Donkey Kong Country 3's true ending is kind of meh. But I'm not going to talk about those too much unless I play them in the future. In the meantime, this is the end of Donkey Kong Country 2. The game will sit on this screen until you hit the any button, and then it will send you back to the title screen. So, That is the true ending. I already said most of my final thoughts in the credits after beating Captain K. Rool on the Flying Croc. So I'm just gonna re-summarize. I love this game. I think it's held up really well. You can the visuals, the graphics. That's for your judgment. I think this ending scene is really pretty. I really like the water in this scene, and I like how Dixie's hair is the only thing that's animated. But regardless, I really like this game, and I was glad to play it for you guys, for myself as well. It was a lot of fun to play again, let's be honest here. But I really appreciate your watching. If you watched this episode or any of my episodes, if you liked it, if you disliked it, I appreciate your watching. And it was really fun to do this. And thank you so much for your patience and your time. I am very grateful to you indeed. So that is the end of Donkey Kong Country 2. It'll be a little bit before my next LP, I think, because Christmas is coming up, so I'm going to be busy with that. I don't know what my next LP will be, but I think I actually do have a fairly good idea. And, well, I guess that's it. I don't really have a lot left to say on the matter. Except, I guess, I'll just leave it at, that's 100% Donkey Kong Country 2. Thank you for watching, and I would be happy if you would join me in the future. Thank you for watching. I'm Mr. Devious, or just Steve, and have a Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.